We're gonna do tits today. Tits and tries. Oh, fuck. It's way heavier than I thought it was gonna be. We talked about this before when we're doing this exercise. It's always shoulders are back and I'm locked into my mid-back and scapula, which is the middle of my back, in case you don't want to be a nerd and say scapula. So if I'm locked there all the time and I'm trying to roll these shoulders back and down all the time, that's where I have to wait till I get to again before I start throwing. So I don't want to come up and go like this and then go. And you see these guys just ripping this thing and it ends up being like an uppercut punch. Just uppercutting the whole time. We want things to die. I want my hands to be loose back here and I want my chest out. I want to squeeze my back together, shoulders down, and I want to roll up through stuff. So there's no speed. I'm not trying to get up to the top quick. I'm trying to slide up through and rock up. So when I go to sweep my hands, I'm not thinking about where my hand will go. I'm trying to think this bicep is coming in and scraping up my chest, so it's scooping up my pec, and my hand lifts up. It's not my goal to get my hands to go up to here and throw it in front of me. All that's gonna do is fuck up your shoulder. And the whole reason why you would do it on this angle like we talked about before is because your shoulders don't move well. You can't get them to do this, especially when you're here. All these guys are doing this, have them here and come up through and at least get your body to understand how to start doing this again. How to start lifting when you press, driving up. So you're starting yourself off, getting yourself in the position to do stuff that's gonna carry over to everything else you do for chest, right? Whereas if you start and you have poor shoulder mobility and you're doing the over top, I'm just rocking down here. All I'm doing is reinforcing this like shoulder and upper back. So I'm just gonna do this, it's just gonna keep continuing throughout the thing, right? If I don't ever get myself set down here on this, I'll never get it here, or overhead, or whatever angle I am, right? It's the same squeeze everywhere. It's not any different. It's also the idea when you do this, I wanna feel like I'm pushing out towards you before I move. I don't wanna go and get tight down. I wanna drive up and lean my body weight up through and scoop my hands up. There's nothing fast about it. We're just trying to squeeze through. So if I'm doing the cable, it's the same thing I was there. I'm here, I'm shoulders back, and I'm holding a cable here. My elbows are bent, my shoulders are tucked. I'm keeping this same position. When I'm here, I'm just putting my hands here. So if my hands were extended, I'd be here and I'd be leaning forward. Here, I'm just doing the same thing, but putting my hands straight in and tucking into my lap. So my shoulders are pulled back just as far, my chest is just as far in front of me as it was on the cable. There's no difference in the setup. There's just a difference on the angle of the push. So when I go to grab here, I can set here, because there's no tension, my back's holding the weight, and I can rock through. So when I go to push, I'm rocking out. The first thing that pulls back is my shoulders, and then my elbows and my hands sink, and I rock through. So I never lose tension on my hands. My hands aren't light, my shoulders are light, and then rock through. So I'm almost trying to lift my rib cage up and squeeze my biceps into the outside of my pecs. But to everyone else, it looks like you're pressing straight, but I'm literally driving up and across with my elbows, pressing through. So if your hand was behind my back right now, every time I lean back here, I'd crush your hand. Because there's so much pressure on this back pad. And I don't need to have my head here or have my head here. My head needs to float so that I can pull shoulders and then I can rock. So my head's just swaying with the motion. It's not doing this or going when I shove stuff. I'm trying to get this mobility of this shoulder doing this. However, my head has to stay to do that. That's how it has to stay. This press is a lot like, you guys might have it in your gym. There's a hammer strength right there, that gray machine. That's an old style, like very, very narrow press. This shit is way wider. It's a better press overall. One, because you can actually get under it. You don't have to put a weight under it to like have it be level enough. And two, it's wider, so it converges to the middle better. So if I start out here and I roll under like I want to, same position I just was with the press there. Same position if I'm with the cables here. Cables up, my hands here, I'm tucked under again. The position didn't change. But now I'm driving up through me, so I'm gonna move up the bench, and I'm gonna squeeze. So I'm using that drive upward and flexing into the middle. Again, trying to drive elbows, trying to drive biceps into the outside of pec, and squeeze through here, up. There's a tempo where I want to be able to hold here, let shoulders retract and bounce, back's tight, and then I drive. So I'm not in a rush to go here and go It's like popping and popping and popping and popping. It's like, guys, extend your arms through presses and feel this movement of bicep into chest, so you can actually get a full press. That's why some of you are complaining, like you're like, oh, I don't flat bench press because I can't hit my upper chest. It's like my upper chest is hitting on every press I'm hitting, literally, except for that like underhanded scoop up, but even then my upper chest is still firing. It's like I'm moving, squeezing my pec fibers in. It doesn't matter the angle I'm on, right? So all these things like, oh, I need this machine for my incline, I need this machine for my upper chest, my lower chest. It's like, no, you just have to learn how to press and stop being an idiot. I'm watching fucking idiots make videos about fucking newfangled ways to do shit, because all you have to have is proper technique and you'll be good at it. It's like a boxer knowing how to throw a jab efficiently doesn't need to know how to throw it more efficiently. He knows how to throw the jab. You don't like go and then throw your jab. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I know how to throw my jab. I know how to throw my jab. Now I know how to throw my right. Look, I have 2 tools now. It's like in the gym, the same thing. I know how to do this here, so I know how to do that there. Like, everything carries over. It's not some fucking like, guys making shit up is literally to get them views because they have nothing to show you. There's nothing new, bro. It's just like, and they don't even do shit right. That's why they have to find new ways to do it. They're like, well, I don't really feel it that way, so I have to devise a way for me to feel it because I don't know how to do things at all. Reinventing the fucking wheel. You gotta put more weight on. Calling you out, bro. Gotta get tougher. Let's try 2 plates, you know, let's get really crazy. That'll excite everyone. Won't be able to stop the views on this video. A number of people, oh, you know, you go around doing this and doing that, but you wouldn't do that to, if Thor came up to you and pissed you off, you wouldn't do that to him. And if John Jones did it to them, like, well, you know what? The difference between those guys and what happened with me was, they're not losers. And they would never do that because they have respect. They're respectful human beings. As am I. I didn't go up to anybody. You know what I mean? So it's like this like cry for like things to be made right in the world. You know what I mean? It's like, guys, take it easy, man. No one cares. No one cares. I think we talked about this before, but whatever. That's all influencers do is talk about the same shit over and over again. So everyone forgot. It's been 2 weeks. He's never made a video about this. This is very interesting. So the point of this, other machines like it, this one's too fucking low, is we want to feel, I don't want to feel like a fly, like a normal, this machine, this fly beside it over here. I don't want to feel like I'm coming around and picking up my chest because it's not in front of me. I'm trying to mimic this of like creating distance where my chest is over my toes. So my chest is hanging in front. And I'm trying to sweep across, if you can imagine, the front plane of my pecs. So the front plane of my chest, I'm trying to squeeze across that, almost as I'm sinking my shoulders down and I'm pressing my hands down. So I'm almost using my hands to push myself up. So I'm coming across the front of my chest. I don't want to feel like underneath my chest and my ribs. I don't want to feel that. I want to feel just my hands clap and slide my pecs in. That's how you're going to get this inner pec that everyone seems to not be able to get, because you guys do this kind of shit and you do this. So you think that as high as you can get is the point, and then going and rocking your head. If my head rocks, all I'm doing is throwing my arm down. It's the same thing as me doing this. I look like I'm flying in midair, right? So I want to be able to trap this weight on my hands. So the pressure is down here. I'm squeezing my lat to hold my hand here. So it's tight as fuck here. And my pressure's on my elbow and my hand. So I'm locked down. I'm not tensing my traps. I'm already over this weight. So when I go to move up, I can swing with it and I can open, but I want to just slide through. So my shoulders end up long here. I don't end up like this, or trying to do this with my shoulders. I'm trying to just slide long. So if I had to say what I'm doing here, I'm trying to be here. I'm trying to almost scoop. If I had to be able to turn my hand, I'm trying to scoop up, pick up my chest, not go to nowhere. I'm trying to lift up and scoop. As my hands could move, I would do that. The same way you guys hit shots on stage. When I hit shots on stage and I do most musculars and all these shots like this, it's the same feeling. You're not trying to flex your whole pec because your arms wouldn't go anywhere. You want to be here and squeeze through and show striations through your pecs, right? So this is almost literally mimicking the same pose you would hit on stage, being here. You shouldn't feel stress in your shoulders. If you start to feel stress in your shoulders, drive from more of this edge of your hand. Don't be over here, be here. You don't need to do that with your hand, but you just have to think like there's more pressure coming through this bottom slice of my hand underneath my pinky so that I can drive through things. If I try to push with my index finger, it's fucking impossible. I need to feel like I'm scooping. So I need to turn my hand. If you have to actually turn your hand, cool, but scoop up through. Or just be aware that the pressure is pretty much on this knuckle, sweeping down through. Down through. Pro tip. You like that one? I'm only gonna do triceps after this. So, you know, no biggie. little chest and tries on a Friday. He hasn't said anything. He's a fucking piece of shit. Bite your kesterone. The best thing about Greg is that Greg doesn't even like the person he's defending. That's how much of a fucking piece of shit you are. You literally take advantage of any fucking opportunity to do anything. You even defend someone you dislike. When you have triceps as big as mine, it doesn't take much. See? Good gym goer. I put other people's stuff away. Apparently our site's crashing. So I was just told. Things are going well today. Conveniently, I got suspended today. The morning of my merch drop. It's odd how that happened, right? It's almost like a coordinated event.
How many machines do you usually do when you're doing your triceps?
To be honest, not that many. I just do a lot of sets on like 2 or 3 exercises. Just find the stuff that works for me. Over my years of training, it's not like I know what angles work for me, so. That's what I mean, like guys, you don't have to like fucking do, just because there's all this tricep stuff to do, it's fine, do it all, and definitely figure out what feels best for you and just kind of stick to that shit. Like let your body acclimate to those movements and become efficient at them, and don't think that like, oh, because there's a new movement or this new machine, that it's going to be better than what you've been doing just because it's new or people are bragging about it. It's like if you do it and it doesn't feel good, stick to the old shit. I know a ton of people that got massive triceps from literally just doing cable press downs and fucking seated dips, either machine like add pin or literally free weight dips. Like they have some of the biggest triceps in the world, right? So it's not about the machine, it's about the man behind the machine, right? You gotta, it's no more evident than all the best gyms in the world have some of the shittiest physiques in them, right? They got all the coolest shit though, I'll tell you that much. It's like, I can make this look really hard. This is 130 pounds, and I can stop and talk to you, and I can just keep going, because I'm breathing, and I'm braced where I should be. But anyone else doing a live would be like this. Like fucking squeezing this weight. It's like, it's not supposed to look like that, guys. I'll do 150, 145. And it's not gonna be me grinding it out, sitting here for 25 minutes fucking. Understand that when guys are doing heavier weights, all they're doing to make it look like it's harder is holding their breath. That's all they're doing. Because this is getting harder, but I'm not going, I'm just gonna sit here even if I stop for 2 seconds and I talk to you. It's the whole stack almost. It's just rock. Just rock. If it doesn't go down, put it up. So, no, man, you got to grind out those. You got reps in reserve. You got reps in reserve. Like, what do you have, like 2,000 reps in reserve over your entire life? When are you going to use them? When do you get to use them? I think he leaves too many reps in the tank. I heard someone say that on some video. So-and-so leaves too many reps in the tank. Could be pushing through stuff more. It's like, it's not a race. You're not like keeping score of how many reps you did, right? Fucking unbelievable. Like, someone could argue that who's an experienced, very experienced lifter, like a very experienced bodybuilder, or even a power lifter, they can like legitimately in their head probably tell themselves after years and years of lifting and years on that lift particular, be like, I could have done one more. Like, I know I have like at least 2 more in me, so therefore I know I have it, and therefore I know I can go heavier, right? Especially a power lifter, like I could have got that for 2. Which means I could go up and probably get such and such for 1, right? But when it comes to bodybuilding, it's like you're leaving reps in reserve. Like, it's volume based. Like, it's literally proven time and time again that volume is the answer, not like weight, right? So it's like, why do you care? Because the volume's gonna accrue over time. I don't know where to look, because you keep fucking circling, he's staying right here. But it's like,
I gotta show them the gains.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, this whole notion of like you guys breaking stuff down, being like, I don't like how many reps in reserve. Like, you don't know how many reps you're even able to do, because the reps you do are shit anyway. Like, for you to say you have reps in reserve, like, you didn't do 1 good rep the whole time. So what do you mean you have stuff, you still have some room to give? Like, you don't. You didn't do it right from the beginning. Don't worry, I'm not talking to anyone in specific. No one specifically is being spoken to right now. This is a general statement. We're gonna put disclaimers up at the beginning of every fucking video. Don't take everything personally. I don't know you. I don't care. It gets to the point too, guys, when you're doing like getting heavier on push downs especially, or things where you don't have like necessarily the leverage, that the range is gonna get shorter and shorter. So I'm not expecting with 145 to get the same range or the same ability to push that I would with 60 pounds or something that's very light for me. Like, whereas here I can understand flexing out and contracting fully. When I get to 45, I might only get to here, and that's the end of my contraction, because I don't have the energy or the drive to be able to push through, but I'm still rocking on that tricep. So since I'm not sending this down here all the time, doesn't mean that I'm getting less out of it. I'm actually stressing the muscle more. It may not be moving as much, but I'm stressing it more because the load has gone up. So if you're trying to do 145 the way you do 60, and you see these guys do 145 and they're going, and they got a guy pushing on the bar and like getting him down, and then he goes down again and he does another pushing. Nothing's happening. Like, nothing happened past here. So rock up from there and move in the range where you can push, right? This like mentality of full reps and all this shit, like it's literally made by people who don't lift well and aren't strong enough to do like heavier weight.